Hello, my name is Clara Miguel Scrits, and this is my film opening pitch. I choose the horror genre, and the name of the film is Escape. Before I start planning my research, I did a survey to 50 people, more or less, which I asked, for example, which is your favorite type of genre? And as you can see, the most voted was comedy, but I have chosen horror, not based on the results, based on which one I prefer the most. Also, I did this for get my ideas clear. For example, to see that comedy was the 18% of the votes, thriller 14% of the votes, drama 15% of the votes, and horror 10% of the votes. The target audience of horror films is that the usual age for horror films is between 15 to 25 years old, because young adults and teenagers is most common to enjoy thrillers and are more likely to excite younger audience rather than older ones. Another question was what interests do you have, and the most voted, as you can see, was travel with 25 votes, 49%. And then this is for get clear what name I prefer the most for the film opening. Finally name is Escape, but also I was between Psychopath and I Want to Know Why. Some of the most popular horror films are these ones. And now I'm going to speak about the codes and conventions on horror films. Symbolic codes. The typography usually is in black and red, because red, for example, represents blood, danger, and death. And some of the props used in horror films are weapons, for example, these ones, and represents violence and danger. The setting. The setting in horror films usually is an abandoned place or dangerous place, dark places, for example, older castles, for example, this one and this one, at the night, and for example, this one in a cemetery. The mise-en-scène in horror films. As you can see in those images, you can see how the girl is afraid because there's some murder behind them. And on this image are three girls that something wrong is going to happen. Technical codes, camera work. Usually it's normal to focus with a close-up for know the face expression of the protagonist when they are hurting them. And then editing is popular, for example, cutaway, jump cut, straight cut, and an example of jump cut is this one. Lightning. Storms are very normal in horror films, as you can see, and then shadows. Shadows are very normal. Writing codes. This is an example. For example, as you can see, the film is Friday the 13th, and it's with red fonts and typography, and it's devil. Now, this is my storyboard research, but and also here I can explain the synopsis of the film. The first shot is about the name of the film, Escape, and then I focus on the full moon. And in the third image is when the film starts, with an over-shoulder shot of the girls. There are two girls protagonists that are persecuted of a psychopath, and they try to go to a garage and hide there, but it's impossible for them because something wrong is going to happen. The soundtrack of the whole film is a song, because there isn't a script. And then I want to do a shot of at the shadow of the psychopath, and then it starts with the girl knows what's happening, that they are persecuted, and they try to avoid of the psychopath. The door, these two images are from a door, and when the door opens, they try to run, and the psychopath goes into the garage behind them, girls with a high angle decide to hide behind a car so he can't see them. And also one of the protagonists tries to call someone, but there was no connection because there is in a garage. Then I thought that a close-up of the face expression of some of the girls was a good idea because expresses how sad is she. And then with that image you can see how the psychopath looks over them, and they try to run as long as possible and try to hide them in a door, but the psychopath continues running over them. And here is when the film starts to ending with a blood puddle, a close-up of her eyes, of one of the girl's eyes, and then a zoom movement, and that's all. Okay, continue. Then these ones are one of my ideas. Escape was the idea of the name. Focus the new moon. Put names of the protagonists, the real names, and the names in the film. Record moments in slow motion and record the shadow of the psychopath coming instead of his face. What narrative theory is converted? I chose Barthes because it's the most obvious in the use of enigma codes and use different types of codes. This makes us work but gives us pleasure when we solve them correctly. And narrative have different codes, for example, enigmas and mysteries, and enigmas usually creates mystery in horror films. Job roles. My paper on this film is to do camera, director, lighting and sound, and producer, and I have three actors: Teresa Martí Navarro, Adriana Aliaga, and Quique Martí Navarro. These are my actors, Adriana, Quique, and Teresa, and I choose both of them because they are brothers, and with this situation of the COVID, it's difficult to do some things like this one. So they are members of the same family, and it's easier to film this film. Okay, Adriana and Teresa will wear clothes imitating that she came to a party, and in the middle of the movie, when they are already terrified, they will wear makeup as if they had cried. And then the psychopath, Quique, persecutes the two girls. We will wear some black clothes or whatever. This is the production schedule and means the location of shot, the description of production, the job roles, equipment required such as camera, mask, hydrogel, phone, keys. Then actor details, they are from Castellón, the age, 16. Then a shooting schedule, this is the planning while we are filming, and the breaks that they have, and the scenes we will film in each hour. And then is the risk assessment. Some risks are social distancing, masks, run over, a black cloud, but we will try to do the best. And then this is a production company, mine in this case is CME, and distribution company, and that's all. For example, another distribution company is Brain Damage Films. I have this one. And this is my unique selling point, is in the garage, and is where the film is going to be. And some films that I inspired by was The Garage, and that's all. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.